Hi there, it's Mr. Clark. Welcome to lesson 12.1.2 on the Tonnetz. So, since every triad has two common tones with three other triads, which is what we saw last time, two common tones C and G, two common tones C and E, two common tones E and G, we can represent this as, triangles. So the letter on each vertex is a pitch, and the connected triangles are either going to be major or minor triads. So we have our C, E, G. We have our C major triad here. If we keep, what was the first one? We kept C and G constant. We keep C and G constant, change the E to an E flat. Okay, so that's a C minor triad. This is C major. If we keep the C and the E constant, change the G to an A, that's an A minor triad. And if we keep the E and the G constant, change the C to a B, that's an E minor triad. But why stop here? We could keep building triangles off of each of these triangles. So if we keep the C and the E flat the same, then we can change the G to an A flat out here and get an A flat major triad. Keep the E flat and the G the same, change the C to a B flat, you get an E flat major triad. Similarly, you can get G, you can get E, you can get A, and you can get F. Exciting. And of course, there's nothing stopping us from connecting these missing lines. And then you get F minor, you get G minor, and you get C sharp minor. But wait, what's to stop us from going even further? Obviously nothing. You can see the diagram here. You can extend the diagram as far as needed in any direction. And this expanded diagram is known as the Tonnetz, which is German for tone network. It's a network of different tones. We first see this appear in the writings of Euler, Leonhard Euler, who you may have heard of in a math context. It was rediscovered by Ernst Naumann in 1858, and a lot of late 1800s German music theorists used this concept, including Hugo Riemann, for whom Neo-Riemannian theory is named. On this instance, you'll see that it's always going flatwards as we go higher. So like here we have E double flat, B double flat, F flat, C flat, and it's always going sharpwards as we go down to the right. But that's not necessary. This would be a more pure form, worrying about different temperament systems and things like that. But for our purposes, we're going to say C flat is exactly the same thing as B. So every time this pitch appears, moving forward, we're going to call that B. We're going to call that E. We're going to call this A. We're going to call this D. So enharmonics don't matter. It's always going to be represented by the same node in this network. Some earlier theorists used this diagram. That's what I was saying. The modern interpretation makes enharmonics exactly equivalent, so the diagram is repeated both from left to right and from top to bottom. You can think about this as a kind of Pac-Man game where, let's say we cut it off here. So C, G, D, A, E, eventually, oh wait, this E, you can come back in right over here. So if you're traveling along this line, well, you can just come back in on this line. You can just come back in on this line and keep traveling across like that. So you can think of it like Pac-Man like that. Or you can think about kind of pasting it together three-dimensionally. And if you are anything like me, that can be a little bit difficult to do. So let's see, I have, the torus Tonnetz, or as my Theory 3 kids this past year called it, the music donut. So this is just the same diagram that we were looking at, but kind of rolled up, like in a cylinder, and then the ends of the cylinder are twisted and connected, and you get the music donut. Okay, enough of that. So, we'll use both the pitch wheel and the Tonnetz to conceptualize the relationship between chords for the rest of the chapter. Some facts that are worth noting. So, moving left to right, we have perfect fifths. Moving bottom left to top right, we have minor thirds. Moving top left to bottom right, we have major thirds. So we have minor third, perfect fifth. Well, that makes sense because those are the three intervals that we find in triads that are major or minor. You have one major third, one minor third, and one perfect fifth. Okay, that checks out. Some depictions of the Tonnetz might change these axes. So if you're looking at other people's Tonnetzes, maybe their minor thirds are going down this way, maybe their major thirds are going up this way, something like that. For the purposes of our work, the Tonnetz will always be arranged like this, but don't be alarmed if you see it in a different configuration. So, another thing to note is that all major thirds are downward pointing triangles, and all major triads are downward pointing. So like D, A, F sharp, that's D major, A, E, C sharp, that's A major, and these triangles are pointing down. And all the upward pointing triangles are minor triads, G minor, C minor, F minor, and they're all pointing up. And that's because the root of the triad in this configuration of the Tonnetz is always going to be on the left. So in an upward pointing triangle, you have a minor third above the root, so that makes it a minor triad. If you're a major triad, then you have a major third above the root, so that makes it major. The other thing to note is that moving top left to bottom right, every third triad will be the same. So here's a D major triad, different major triad, back to D. Or if we started on F sharp minor up here, different minor triad, back to F sharp minor. Moving bottom left to top right, every fourth triad of the same type will be the same. So here we have B flat minor, yep. Different, same. Or if we started on C sharp major, then different, same. So every fourth is going to be the same. And then we didn't show it here, but if you go left to right, then you'll have to go through 12 triads before returning to the original, since you're going around the entire circle of fifths, because you're moving up by perfect fifth. So, just some things to note, orienting ourselves to this triangular landscape called the Tonnetz. So have some fun with this, and I'll see you next time.